There's too many extraction shooters. Another hero shooter? Concord 2, Corporal Slot. Looks like Apex Legends.
So there's like 2 extraction shooters that are remotely successful. One isn't even available on Steam. Who classifies Apex Legends as a hero shooter? Because nobody does, for real. It's a battle royale. Battlefield 2042? Hero shooter? No, that's what I thought. What about Marvel Rivals? Right. And Overwatch? Yeah, because those are hero shooters. This is not. Just because this guy can do what this guy can't do what that guy counter this guy does not mean it's a hero shooter. Concord 2. This was, because not is, ain't there no more, a hero shooter. And honestly, people saying that Marathon is Concord 2 are the main ones complaining about not having anything new to play. Granted, Concord 2, Concord, I wasn't vibing with that one either. But looks like Apex Legends. Oh my god, I just can't. The parrots are at it again.
What? I'ma copy whatever they say on Twitter because my brain is constantly off.
Video game discourse is mad terrible right now, by the way. You cannot have legitimate conversations anymore because people can't think for themselves. I'm not defending Marathon, you know, but takes such as these are just, I just can't. It's ugly. Overall though, if you look around, opinions are honestly split. Like straight down the middle actually. Some people love the art.
Myself included.
Others hate it.
Not included.
And you can really go down the list and have about the same amount of opinions on both sides of the coin. Heads you love it, tails you hate it. But from everything that was revealed, I can understand both sides really. See, me, I'm interested, but I'm not excited. I love the art and the cinematic direction the game wants to go in, but it just seems like set dressing. And Bungie is trying to
build the airplane while it's in the air.
They don't even have the story written, just the story framework. And that to me is not surprising because that sounds exactly how Destiny was. Destiny 1 and 2. Like, hey, here's the framework. Let's just patch it in, put it together.
I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain.
It showed, but I don't want to go too much into that. I will say though, like I said, Destiny and Destiny 2 started off the same way. And Halo, which is my favorite game of all time, isn't really known for its brilliant storytelling. But anyways,
The problem.
I have played a handful of extraction shooters, and if we're being honest, like truly honest, there's only a handful of them anyway. There's Hunt Showdown, which I played, Escape from Tarkov, I almost played, and a couple other ones that nobody talks about. But these are really the 2 strictly popular extraction shooters that anybody ever really talks about. Yes, you could get into the weeds and you probably find a few more, some that was discontinued and some that are not as popular, but yeah. So that begs the question, why aren't there many other extraction shooters, you ask? Because they fail. The problem with extraction shooters is that developers and publishers are trying to sell it to you as a product when it really is a feature. To further explain what I'm saying here, let's take a look at The Division, another extraction shooter I purposely left out of the list from earlier. Despite what the internet tells you, The Division was a highly successful game. Both of them. Both selling over 10 million copies. Guess what? It's an extraction shooter, but it's also a looter shooter and also an RPG. It provided extraction shooting as a feature. It wasn't just an extraction shooter. Granted, the game overall, 7, 8 out of 10 for most people, but we're not talking about the quality here, just focusing on the experience provided from a game that provides you extraction shooter mechanics as a feature and ones that provided as a product.
Tarkov, Hunt Showdown,
and now
Marathon.
These 3 games can be successful, but did they sell 10 million? Will Marathon sell 10 million? Because they're planning on charging you this game that has framework. Just want to put that out there. Framework. If you ask me, I don't think so. Tarkov and Hunt didn't sell 10 million. I mean, Tarkov never really wanted to tell you how many people were playing the game or how much they sold. They kept that under the hood, and it's not on Steam, so we don't even know concurrent player numbers, but I can probably make a solid super guess that it did not sell 10 million. So yes, I don't think Marathon will also, despite Bungie's success in the past. Other problem with extraction shooting being the product, it's just not enough. You go in, get some loot, leave maybe, to go back with that same loot to do what? lose it again? Find more just to lose it again? It just doesn't make sense to me as someone who plays almost every game ever. Okay, not every game ever. What am I progressing towards that makes it satisfying? If I'm gonna just risk losing anything that I gain, what am I progressing towards that makes it satisfying if I'm just gonna lose anything that I gain? That's the circle of extraction shooting. You find, lose, just to find, just to lose. I don't want to find more stuff just to risk losing it. Despite having fun getting it, it just doesn't make sense. At least with the Division, you can take that loot and go do PvE content and not have to worry about losing it. Or maybe you're finding gear in the dark zone or the extraction shooting mechanic where you could go and use that loot that you work hard to not lose to go take on something that is more interesting and less risky. The reward for risk losing and finding good loot is the ability to be stronger to take on something you otherwise could not have done. Like I said, with the Division, you could take on harder difficulty campaigns, do a raid or a dungeon, because extracting is not all you're doing. Solo extraction shooters, you're just extracting whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-do.
While that can be fun, I just don't think the gameplay loop support hundreds of hours of playtime just risking for what? To risk again. And extraction shooters are kind of a form of battle royale where people just join on this map and they go do things, but you add like PvE elements. But the thing with battle royales, and this is kind of a side topic, I'm sorry, side note, caveat, here we go. Battle royales work because the main goal is to win. You already know you're not taking anything with you, and the things that you find is to support your main goal, which is to win. Extraction shooters is different. The goal of extraction shooters suck because there's no true end. It's just endless variables on top of endless variables, and it's just disgusting. I just don't want to keep risking losing. It's just not a solo product. I just can't get with it.
The solution.
Provide something else other than extraction being the main goal. Hunt and Tarkov were definitely successful, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't call them mainstream successes. They did, however, provide unique experiences that other games just do not. Tarkov with its mystery and complexity, Hunt with its immersion and vibe. Marathon will have to take it a step further. The gameplay will be fun, but what else? What am I doing other than shooting to find more guns to shoot with? The PvE will have to be brought forward in a unique way, because right now it's pretty much a battle royale where the goal is you just extract. That's what it seems like. And Marathon just can't be Destiny 2 events, public events, but with PvP. Adding engaging mysterious events or actions that make exploration interesting and maybe teleport like a freaking scarab and a warthog for some reason, and then maybe you provide a PvE zone where giant bosses show up with raid-like mechanics that people just can't just straight up murder you in it, like, hey, we're here together just for this moment. Things like that could make Marathon or any extraction shooter stand out, because who don't want to board a scarab? 2 scarabs. And granted, I've heard things, said from the developers and other content creators saying like, hey, they do have unique events and blah, 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 blah. I just don't think that's going to be in the game at first. Maybe they will add it in the future, but the momentum got to be there from the jump. They got to add it this year. I don't think Marathon is going to do any of that at launch. Like I said, from what I've seen, they fully have like a complete vision for this. This vision is half cooked, half visible, and Bungie is looking for us to complete it, asking us what we want. And that's a weird way of developing a project, in my opinion. But I mean, it makes sense if you're trying to make something for people, but it should be your vision. It should be, this is what I want to provide, and we'll take a little bit of feedback here and there. But it seems like they taking like, hey, you guys are building this game for us. This is what we got so far. What else do you want for us to put in here? But I mean, what else can you expect in 2025, man? Investors are, look, man, I don't know. Gaming is weird. Now, anyway, I will be trying out Marathon and giving my feedback. But to summarize, extraction shooting is not a product. It is a feature. I got this idea from one of MKBHD's videos. Yes, pretty good video actually. But anyways, thank you for listening, watching, whatever. And until next time, hopefully Marathon goes up. And it's an amazing game. Peace.